Hello, everybody. We're back with week 3 of the Rec Ball Full Court Press. Back with the original crew here. I'm Quinn Donovan alongside Will Schiffman, Matt Doherty, and Mike Doherty. So we had a very exciting week this week with one very exciting upset, and it was a great week of Rec Ball all around. So what do you have, guys?
Well, speaking of that upset, McGinn over Kelly, I think no one saw that coming. Kelly and Zach Walker have been rolling so far, and Zach had a very tough week, and I think that, and Prune balled out, getting 23 points, but I think that this loss is on Zach's shoulders.
I mean, props to Team McGinn for playing excellent defense on Zach, getting him a little bit frustrated early on in the game, causing him to have multiple fouls before halftime, and that really would ultimately hurt Team Kelly at the end because Zach wasn't on the floor long enough to put up enough points or help his team out.
Props to Prune, though, because he had 23 points. We all know him as a defensive animal, but 23 is a great number, especially when McGinn only has 10, so they really needed some points coming from someone else.
Yep. And I think that this team needs Zach Walker to score 30 points a game to win each game. I mean, that's what it looks like.
That's what it's
I think Pat's definitely helping him out, but every game that they win, Zach's scoring 30 points. I don't know if that's...
I mean, I think they could still... I mean, we haven't seen Zach score like 15 points or anything. He's either been up high, close to 30, or this one game he had 5 points, I believe. But I mean, I think Pat Kelly doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes with playing alongside Zach, and I think he's one of the best guards in rec ball, and people don't really realize that playing alongside probably the MVP at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree. So another game we had was Townsend against Last. Not the two best teams in the league, but Townsend came out with the dub. Jeremy James had 16 points. He's pretty good. We played against him. He didn't have a great game, but he still looked like a good player.
I think we had an interesting quote about that game. Noah Yeager-Brule commented from the sideline that was probably the worst rec ball game in a long time.
Wow.
And that was just...
Coming from his team?
Coming from a member of Team Hogan that watching that game was clearly not enthralled with the play.
And I don't think Kevin was there either, so maybe that's a little bit that hurt Last.
Side note on Kevin Flay, have absolute greatest shoes in rec ball. You got to give it out to him.
Every week.
The Air Monarchs.
So then we had Corey beating Grossman, and don't look now, but Corey's on a 2-game winning streak for a team that hadn't won in, I want to say, around 2 years.
Well, I may make one observation that you were on Team Corey the past 2 years, so
you're right.
You can't help but wonder whether the getting rid of Schiffman was just the kickstart they needed to get going.
But Schiffman's 3-0.
Ooh, okay.
So you got to look at that.
You're not wrong.
You also
I love to see Choate having 13 points. He is the biggest kid in rec ball, so to see him scoring some points is definitely a good sign for Team Corey.
I think you got to look at Phelps for Team Grossman coming in for his first game, scoring 18 points. That's exactly what Grossman needs, and I hope that Phelps can get them back on track and hopefully get them a victory this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sitting at 0-4, pretty much the bottom of any power rankings you can find. Team Grossman's got their work cut out for them, but especially with Kevin McCarthy now out for the season, they were able to get Jack Phelps in there, but yeah, we're going to have to wait and see if they can pull one out at some point.
This may have been their closest game of the year. I mean, only lost by 4.
I think
that's got to hurt more than the other games.
I think they'll get at least one.
I hope they do. So then we had my team beating Philbrook, who is now 0-4. It's just, it looks like there's no hope for that team.
Yeah.
One of our own, Matt McCarthy, I think he's got to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a lot of Philbrook being bad. I think Drew Lisketty showed everyone, including Mr. Morin, that he is a first-round pick.
First round.
We did see Ryan Nichols miss that game, understandably, for the Patriots.
I would too.
Playoff game, but his team was able to step up. Cam Erickson dropped in 15. Yeah. So Drew and Cam, the two leading scorers in that game for Team Schiffman, that was a big improvement based on the last week where basically nobody could hit a jump shot and nobody could really do anything on offense.
And Quinn, I just want to let you know that I did make a 3, so we are now not 0-6.
That's good to know.
So,
good to know.
I was proud of myself for that.
Added 14 too, right?
Yeah,
That's
so it wasn't a bad game. I liked how
good game.
it kind of worked the ball around. It was a good team win, I felt like.
And then in the next one, we had a fairly surprising game with Team Barry. And they ended up beating Team Capello by 10 points, 62-52. But Capello really gave Barry a run for their money there, and I believe they were leading going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And,
Frenchie said that they were actually up 1 going into the fourth, but then he said that Jackson just took over the game.
And I mean that can happen. Jackson's a great rec ball player. He poured in 31 that game, and but I just think it's interesting for French to only score 12 points, and for his team to still be in it that way. I mean that's a great sign for Team Capello that he doesn't need to be dominating every game to be able to have a chance against the best team in the league at this point.
But I think that Frenchie should be dominating.
Yeah, I think he needs to be. If he had the 20-plus points, then it could be. You'd never know what's going to happen at the end of the game. That's a tie game right there. And, like, Frenchie, known as a very clutch player, awesome on the free throw line. You don't know what can happen if he shoots a little bit more.
I'm also going to stick by my statement at the beginning of the year that Jackson Barry is the MVP of the league. He is the most consistent, and he just takes people to the hoop. I mean, he just, every fast break, no one's stopping him. He's just so lengthy, and he can do it all for that team, and he has been.
What are you thinking over here, Mike?
As a senior, I need to see some senior pride coming from Frenchie and a couple of his senior teammates. You can't have a junior drop in half of the team's points. And 31, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You got to stop that. Hold him to 20 at least.
I mean, we saw another junior as well in the following game, Team Bersani, with obviously you got the 2 junior studs in that team, Brendan McCafferty and Pete Bersani, and they've just been the 2 leading scorers for their team every game, and they should be. But Brendan had 27, Pete contributed 14, and they had a 20-point win over Team Croft. So Team Bersani really bouncing back from that tough loss against Barry last week, which was a great game, by the way. Yeah, so we'll see what those 2 can do.
I also heard Croft did not have, who is it? Who's on their team? I forget his name, but they were missing some players, and I think that could have helped them out.
Mm-hmm. Well, Team Gilbo also is now 4-0, and they're another undefeated team sitting up there with Aria, was of course who a lot of people said was the steal of the draft. He slid pretty far down in the first round. He had 22, so they had a big 30-point win over Team Meyer, who has really been struggling to figure their stuff out. And but Team Gilbo, don't look now. They're hot.
Yeah, they're 4-0 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be an interesting team to look out for in this league. I mean, they're not. I wouldn't consider them the top team in the league, but they haven't shown us any weakness in them.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting thing about Gilbo is they put up 63 points, which is a lot for rec ball, and they got multiple scores. They got scores all around the 3-point line, all around the court. Like they could just score the ball, and that's what they showed against Team Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did see moving into the Monday night games now. Team Kelly had another game, and Zach Walker certainly bounced back well. He had I believe 29 points, and they came out with a 10-point win over Team Corey, who's, as we said, a good opponent. And Choate had 20 points in that game. That's interesting for them. So he played really well.
I was talking to Zach today, actually, and he said that, like, he was shocked at how well Choate played. He was just like, I was trying my best, and, like, he was still scoring on me. He even said, and I quote, Jack Choate is the most fundamentally sound rec ball player.
Wow, he's running Eli for his money right there. Eli's
guy.
Always there for me.
It's
that.
a big hoss, Choate is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
Choate
it's
does have
tough.
the
You
height.
can't, like, if once he uses that backboard, turns around, squares, shoots it, you can't block him. Like nobody's big enough, tall enough to block his shot. So once he gets it off and it's going in, you can't stop the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we did see Pat Kelly once again poured in 17 points for Team Kelly. So I mean, again,
Yeah, he's consistent.
one of the least
Yeah.
heralded players in the league, but
Yeah.
I think he's a huge factor in their success, definitely.
Yeah, I think Corey's low key a team to look out for. I mean, they're not losing big to these teams that we call top 5 teams.
They piece it together down the stretch. We could see them making
Yeah.
a playoff run, definitely.
I know Abe's got some tricks up his sleeve, so everyone's got to look out.
Of course. And then Team Townsend versus Team Meyer. What do you guys think about that one? Team Townsend came out with a 15-point win last night
Yeah.
over Team Meyer.
I guess Townsend just sneaky winning some games. I mean, I think they have 2 wins on the season now. Jeremy James again having 15 points. Just a good team, and Zach LaVine having 15 too. I think he's the core of that team. Team Meyer, but yeah, Team Townsend's looking all right.
All right, well, it's been a great week of rec ball. We seeing a lot of action and a bunch of different MVP candidates starting to separate themselves from the pack, and so we'll see you next week.